Hi, I'm Shao. According to an old joke, there are two kinds of people: human beings and engineers. The former see the big picture first, and are trying to drill down into the details to develop an understanding of what constitutes the big picture. The latter are fascinated by the details. They sometimes find it hard to discern between the trees and the forest. Jokes aside, in the photographic context, it's easy to see who is who. Just make an experiment. Hang a big print on a wall, let's say 1 meter wide. Take a subject blindfolded and put them at a clearly uncomfortable viewing distance, perhaps about 1 meter from the print. Then remove the blindfold and observe what they are doing. If they take a step backwards in order to see the whole picture, they belong to human beings. If they take a step forward to closely examine the details in the picture, they belong to the engineer group. I began my photographic journey in the analog days, somewhere in the mid-1980s. Back then, photography had a cost. Each photograph you made cost some money, both for the film and for the development and printing. There was a built-in cost, a built-in scarcity to each photograph. You had to have a good reason to bring up the camera to your eye and take an image. Now, of course, in the digital days, this is no longer a consideration. Everything is free, or so it seems, and you can make an almost unlimited amount of photographs without any discernible cost. However, old habits are hard to get rid of, so I still do not shoot much. I rarely use continuous shooting in bursts, and I really need a good reason, motivation to bother lifting the camera up to my eye and taking a photograph. I've always believed, it is my experience, that a good piece of work, whether scientific, artistic, photographic, whatever, has a clarity of purpose. There is a thread going throughout the process that preserves the motivation of beginning it in the first place. Throughout the process, each decision emanates from a previous one. So the final output is strongly related to the motivation, the initial motivation of beginning that process in the first place. Good scientific work always begins with a problem, with a practical problem, with a pain that has to be alleviated. A good photograph begins with a question, why? The answer to that question can be emotional, can be conceptual, but there is always a purpose, an idea or an emotion that the photographer, as an artist, needs to convey to the viewer. I deliberately use the term need. It's something you don't only want to do, it's something you have to do. The motivation has to be pressing, has to be urgent, at least for me. The next question that emanates from the why is what? What will be the subject of the photograph? What will the composition look like? When is the best time to expose? If it's a dynamic situation at all, you choose to convey. The what question is rather straightforward sometimes. It can be symbolic, but usually you just use what's in front of your eyes. If you use a prime lens, there is one less variable to consider. Makes it easier. You don't have to think about the framing of the image. You only have to think about the distance to your subject, to the scene, how to express the perspective between distances. Timing is crucial though. When photographing humans interacting, which is my preferred genre of photography, I always wait until the scene comes to some kind of peaking or culmination of emotions. When I wait for a point where the choreography in the scene comes to a climax that is worth documenting. The next set of decisions emanating from the answer to the question what and when is how. Those are more stylistic preferences that determine what will be sharp in the image, whether everything will be sharp or only the subject, or perhaps the subject will be somewhat blurry while everything else is sharp. They have to do with the brightness of the scene, whether you are going to use a high key or low key, or a balanced exposure. That dictates the temperament of the image you make. There are questions about how to address motion in the scene, whether everything should be frozen or or some motion blur will be left visible to the viewer to accentuate the movement, the emotional aspects of what was unfolding in front. Will the image be colorful or maybe monochromatic? Whether it will be clean or gritty, not only in the sense of noise, but also in the sense of the general feeling. All those decisions are not something you consciously make. If you are really present in the scene, involved in it, those decisions are quite straightforward. It's a matter of being there, of avoiding distractions, of being in the flow. The result is an image that has a clear unity of purpose, that is focused, that is more convincing to the viewer and has a strong emotional or intellectual impact on them. Many iconic photographs were made in such a way, employing such a purpose-driven process. If you start in the middle, ignoring the first question of why, you might be only motivated by a nice light or by an interesting subject you would like to describe in a photographic manner. The image you make might be aesthetically compelling, but it will lack a sense of story. It will lack a clear purpose, and it might lack some focus. I would like to give you a few examples of my own work. The first example was shot during my visit to Hong Kong late last year. I landed in the afternoon and took a train to my hotel. The afternoon is rush hour in Hong Kong. Everyone is hurrying back home, and the trains are really packed. I was quite overwhelmed by this feeling of suffocation. All those human bodies packed together in a train car, and the lack of personal space we are so used to in the West, that no one really seemed to mind. That lack of personal space is very typical to Hong Kong. That is a dense, highly populated place. You can see it everywhere, in the streets, in restaurants, in shops. And it was a cultural shock for me to observe it, to experience it. I could not take the camera out of my bag. So I just took the phone out from my pocket and snapped a quick picture of that car. I like the cold light the serious faces of commuters packed together. It gives the image a sense of urgency, of some despair. But still, everyone is calm. Everyone is just accepting things how they are. There is no anger in this image. There is no protest. And this is what makes this image even the more despairing to me. The next picture was made during a family gathering. My mom asked me to make a group shot of all grandchildren that happened to be at the same time at the same place, which is quite a rare occasion. Now, group shots such as this might be a little bit stiff. So what I did was take some photos during the setting of the shot, during the preparation. I did not just want to show what everyone looked like. I wanted to show some personality. So I took advantage of the chaos that was there while everyone was preparing. They decided to make the shot on a balcony. There was a shaft of direct light hitting the wall behind that created some strong contrast that made everyone look relatively dark. This image worked well, I think. It shows the different personalities. It shows some emotions. It shows some joy and havoc. But everything is well contained. When I asked my mother to pick one of the shots for a print, of course she chose the formal one. Everyone was looking at the camera and smiling. But I really prefer this one. It has so much more to it. It shows not just what everyone looks like, but who they are, in a way. The image was shot with a Nikon ZF and a Thypoc 28mm f1.4, which is a poppy lens. You can appreciate it in this photo. There is some separation that is not due to a shallow depth of field. It isolates the personalities from each other. And it gives the image a true sense of life. The third example was shot at our local. Now I've made it a habit to get myself acquainted to the millennials where I live. The life of young people is fascinating to me. It's very different from what we experienced where we were in our 20s. Everything seems to be more dynamic these days. There's a sense of uncertainty. Those youngsters don't have a set plan. They don't know what they want to do with their lives. They keep experimenting with different jobs, with different partners. Now, in this scene, there was a clear sense of affection between two of those protagonists. But there was also some shyness. They barely made an eye contact. And all this feeling of affection, of excitement, was channeled to this little dog who was pleasantly surprised by all this attention he got. And I decided it was worthwhile documenting this moment. I chose to present this moment in monochrome because the colors would have distracted the viewer from the faces, from the expressions, from the human situation that was unfolding. I used Nikon ZF and the Light Lens Lab 35mm f2, which has this glow it creates around the highlights, and that really brings the image to life. I think that will be all for today. I know this channel usually discusses issues around gear, but this is really the heart of photography. It's conveying emotions, it's conveying special moments that are really worth documenting, preserving. And those are the photographs that might make a difference. It might give the viewers something to feel, something to think of. If you enjoyed this video, if you would like to support this channel, please consider buying me a coffee. There's a link in the description below. It's a nice gesture between gentlemen. Thank you for watching and see you again soon.